So I'm back here with these front lower wishbones, or control arms, whatever you want to call them. And what you can see is, first of all, this is before I've done any work to it, and this is when I've started doing work to it. So this is the left arm or passenger side, if you're in the UK. This is the right side or driver's side. So first of all, what I did was I whacked down this little lip. So you can see it's not there anymore. Whacked it down and cut it off around the rim. Okay, so that leaves you with more of a conventional look of the bush as opposed to that. And then, as you saw at the end of the last video on this series of doing this work, what I did is I used the 10-ton press and I managed to get it out the other side. This is a bit more stuck, this one. What I wanted to show you was there's other options in terms of removing these. So one of the options is do the same as before. Instead of trying to press the whole thing out with the 10-ton press, is get rid of the middle bit, okay, like I did to the front. You saw on the front I just removed the middle bit and then cut this outer ring and then smashed that out with a drive-through flat blade screwdriver. Well, with this, due to the nature of it, you can't really just press this out the middle because, well, particularly with my press, it doesn't actually have the stroke or the range to actually push this through or get part way through. And then when I let go of the press, it just pushes it. It just comes back to where it was before. So the other option is to use your friend, the butane torch, basically. So yeah, I don't know if you guys have got one of these, but they're quite cheap. I bought one with 4 canisters for like 20 quid. I'm sure it'll have lots of other options, creme brulee perhaps. Anyway, so yeah, so what we can do is we can basically burn the centre out and then smash this middle bit out. So that's what I'm going to do. These are really simple to use for those of the uninitiated. So basically you just get this, put this in here like so, turn it to on, so you're basically just turning it around, then just, and we are going, turn it off. That's really as simple as that. So I'm just going to use that on this here, get rid of all that rubber and try and smash out that centre bit. Then I'm going to use the hacksaw and then cut the side just as the first. So first things first, I'm going to get this nice and hot and then try and get rid of this middle bit. Another point I wanted to mention to you is about the 2 different types of SuperPro poly bushes that they actually sell. So we have the standard alignment, standard caster here. So this is for the back one there is obviously for the big bush at the back, and the one here is for the one at the front. And then you also do the caster offset ones. It's increased caster, so you can see it's not in the centre, that one. But also there's a difference in terms of the actual thickness of the back, of the position of the back bush as well. So yeah, there's 2 options. I tried to use these initially before I bought these, and I had issues with trying to actually fit the wishbone back in, and that probably is my fault, and I can think of other ways of doing it now, but I decided to go for the standard caster bush instead. So that's what I'm going with now, but I've obviously got these still, and I might use them in the future if I need to. So you can see it's smoking after using the blowtorch. So I went both sides, and the next thing to do is try and push it out. So I'm going to use the 10-ton press again and see if I can just push the middle out. So this is the setup. I've got a small socket in the middle, which actually fits in the middle of the metal part. And then this little ring piece of metal comes with the kit. Comes with this strong arm kit at least. And then try and press that through. It's offering much less resistance now it's been set fire to, which is good news. It's actually starting to delaminate. I don't know if you just zoom in, watch the whole thing. Yeah, I think that's it. So just carry on pushing it through. There we go. There we go, it's through. So now this is actually out. Should be able to put something else in here and just drive it the rest of the way out. So again, using the same base plate and then this socket now, I should be able to just push this right way through. There we go. Now these are both out. I'm just going to remove some of this rubber, set fire to it, at least make it go all crusty. So the front one's on, and then this one, and it'll make it easier to use the saw on it in a bit. But as I said in the previous video, it's all about using good hacksaw, like a Barker I've got here with the proper blades. And basically do two cuts next to each other. You can see them both in there. And then once you've done that, you're ready to get hammer and tongs on the whole thing. So you get your drive-through screwdriver. It's my weapon of choice. Get in here. It's a big old hammer. Obviously wear ear protection, eye goggles, and then smack that out, or at least smack that down. I'll show you my progress. So here you can see that just started to tear the outside of the bush, and then carry on with that and try and go the tear right the way through. Going from the other side, you can see it's starting to tear properly, so I'll just drive straight the way through the other side. So here we are, almost the whole way out now. Finally you can see that it's being worked out. There we have it. There it is. Out. Now just put the new ones in. But first of all, I've got to do the same to this side and just cut that, so I'll do that first. The top tip, with a vice like this, you've only got this to really grip onto whatever you're working on. But if you don't want this whole thing just to get hammered down and end up going through the vice, put something strong behind it, obviously not where you're trying to punch it out, and then you should be better off. You won't just end up punching the whole workpiece down. Good news is this one came out of much of a fight. Just cut down the length of it and actually use the press again to get on a corner, and then just push it out like that, and just using a setup like that. So it was in there like that, and then just on the side. So now I've got the pleasure of putting these new bushes in. If you had the standard OEM bushes, this is where things would just be kind of bad, because you have to again use the press to get them in. But realistically, with these poly bushes, they're quite easy to just manhandle in. So if I just show you for the back one, the front one will need the press, but the back one won't. So if I just show you what that looks like. So first of all, you use this grease that's supplied, polyurethane bushing grease, and then you have the here it says somewhere, yeah, here we go. This is the front, so that goes in the front. So obviously make sure this is the setup of the left hand side of the vehicle. So you have this bit here, the flat bit here for the ball joint facing up. So yeah, the front part of the bush, and there's the rear part of the bush. You can tell the difference anyway. One, because it says on them rear and front, but also this bit is thicker at the bottom than that. So anyway, you can just push this in yourself by hand. Well, not one-handed, but push that in. So the front is in, the rear is in, and then you just lube again up this centre piece of metal, and then you should just be able to pretty much push that with your hand the whole way through. So here we have it, ready to go in the car, at least this rear bush is. So rear, front, and again this is for the left hand side of the vehicle. Then we've just got to put this other one in. Use the grease around the outside. Then I can just put it in here like that. I've got the number facing up, but it's actually symmetrical, so it doesn't really matter. And then you can use your press and then I'm going to use, I'll show you the setup when it's ready. So this is it, the bush is there, the arm and the plate above it. You should just be able to just basically press just the whole way home. So it's just going in nice and straight, which is what you want. Okay, and then wait till it's all the way home. So that is it home. Have a look. Should be seated the whole way around and below. And that is how to do it. So, ready to go on the car now. Apart from this bit. So again, we're going to use our grease and we can press these in by hand. So, take this bit off, and that bit off. You just set up there, grease this, push this through there, and then put one of these above and one below. So as promised, that's in there, one above and one below, symmetrical. Things in the back, with that at the rear, that at the front, and we are good to chuck this back on the car.